triangle are going to be the main things we're doing from down here. For the shoulder lock, it's either going to be a Kimura or an omoplata, but it's basically like a shoulder lock where I use both arms, shoulder lock where I use my leg instead of my arms. Let's talk about first. The first thing I have to worry about here is I have my legs locked around my opponent from guard. And even though Dave is technically higher up than me, in a weird way, Dave's not exactly on top of me. Because Dave is on the ground, his head's higher than my head, but my legs are pathed in his hip creases. So as far as Dave's body's concerned, I'm kind of higher up than he is in relation to his body. So basically, if Dave puts his head low, it looks like I'm like a head and a half taller than him. So if you were in a real fight, like a boxing match, and someone was this close, it makes, when you're this much taller, it makes it so much easier to clinch. If he wants to throw a punch, it's gonna be very difficult. So I have the illusion of height. I kind of have a weird, like in a weird way, I'm taller than Dave. There's more of me fighting less of him. Half his body is stuck out of the fight, even though by gravity standards, he's kind of on top of me. But even with that being said, if he tries to drive a bunch of weight into me, the weight's gonna hit my legs on the bottom. It's not gonna really crush my torso, my head, anything like that. So I do already have a big advantage. In fact, Dave's last big strength is this power ring. It's his arms going from his pointer knuckles through his shoulders to his back. This is incredibly strong. If I try to pull Dave into me, I mean, the odds of that collapsing are not strong. If I go to armbar Dave or triangle Dave and that ring's in the way, that ring's gonna be able to keep him safe. If I try to pull Dave close enough to hold him so he can't punch me, he can use the ring to keep me away, and then in between me pulling, he can punch me. And then when I go back to get him, he can push again, he can hide behind the ring again, making space. So this ring is my main problem. And I got two giant ways I can deal with it. I can either split the ring, try to go inside of it, so the power's on the outside of me. This opens up for shoulder locks. Or I can try to go around the ring, I can try to circumnavigate it. So it'd be more like, instead of me fighting the ring head on, just like when we did the arm drag, I'd be looking to move to the outside of the ring. So we're going to talk about some of the more simple ways to do this, and we'll elaborate as we go throughout the month. Let's start first. Let's do a ring split into omoplata or a ring split into Kimura. So what we're going to look to do is we have our hands move in. I'm grabbing Dave by the torso. I should feel knees on ribs. So I'm going to simultaneously, I'm going to split Dave's grip, and then I'm also going to make his hands heavy. The way I make his hands heavy is I pull him forward. As I split, try to see if I can get his hands to touch the ground. If his hands touch the ground, I'm going to grab a wrist, I'm going to sit up past, feel my body inside the ring, get up to an elbow, I have an arm draping over. I'm going to make my arm go through, I'm going to grab my own wrist on the opposite side. Once I get this grip, with body weight, I'm going back down. So I got half of Dave's ring, I'm falling backwards with this. Now a strong guy is going to want to tuck his hand underneath his leg to get it stuck. My goal is to not let it there if I can until my hips go in the spot. So I will hold the arm high, really flexing. I try to put it to my forehead and watch the leg work. My hip, my leg, my back are all coming out this way. So now if Dave tries to tuck his arm, I'm in the spot. Also what happens is the more I aim my chest directly to the back of Dave's head, the stronger I get for the Kimura position, and the more I'm lining up to do a bench press instead of like a backhand in tennis. So again, the hands are on us. We're gonna split, pull the legs, we drop in. I go past the head, I get up to an elbow, I punch. My back reclines. Dave's gonna want to tug this hand in. I'm fighting to not let that happen, but at the same time, I'm moving my hips a lot. I'm getting my hips to take up that spot. And then either, one, it doesn't let Dave get his hand in front, but two, it also lines me up. The more I turn to the outside, just the better spot I'll be in to put a break in that arm, or if I really need to put the fear of God in that guy, like, hey, chill out, really let him know I can break his arm. That's where you're gonna get it from these spots. So one more time.